They shoved her roughly against the patrol car, the cold metal biting through her coat. "Tell us who you are," one said, voice harsh and accusing. She did not speak. The other officer pulled out his phone. "Want me to call dispatch?" he snarled. She remained silent. In that heartbeat, they thought they held all the power. Within 5 seconds, the optic clarity of conflict was drawn for the viewer. Institutional force confronting a solitary black woman who did not flinch. It was enough shock, enough injustice to make the viewer's heart pound. In less than 30 seconds we see her clearly. Tall, composed, her dark eyes steady beneath short silver streaked hair. Her shoulders squared even as their grip tightened. A faint bruise blossomed along her jaw, lips pressed tight in controlled breathing. She smelled faintly of lavender and antiseptic. Had come from a hospital shift earlier in the day. Empathy emerges instantly, a healer, physically marked yet unbowed. She is Dr. Simone Turner, longtime police chief of this precinct, but they don't know that yet. She is labeled suspect in their minds, an unidentified woman interfering. The moral outrage simmers. A respected black professional treated like a criminal. In her mind, images flash. Her back stiff in military fatigues during her deployment in Afghanistan. The snap of sand under boots, the tang of sweat and fear. She remembers the day she lost her best friend Marcus King in an wide explosion. His last laugh still ringing in her ears. She remembers his mother cradling a folded flag, his photo framed. She remembers why she wore the uniform, and why she left it for this badge. The feel of Marcus's dog tags cold in her hand. The scent of cordite in the air. The taste of grief, still metallic on her tongue. She became a police officer to bring calm to chaos. To serve, even when the system did not see her as serviceable. She endured that irony daily. Now, standing at dusk against the patrol car, she felt wounds deeper than this bruise. Invisible scars of racism, of expectations lowered, of constant vigilance in her own community. The officers exchange glances. Bystanders drift from the sidewalk, curious but cautious. No one steps forward. Some raise phones, others avert eyes. The silence of the crowd magnifies the wrongness of the moment. One officer grips her elbow tighter. He leans close and demands again, name, badge number. Now she does not yield. Her silence becomes a shield. She breathes through her mouth. The subtle rise and fall of her chest is controlled, calm. Silence becomes her power. She refuses to grant them confession they demand. A subtle hint flickers. Pinned above her heart is a small promise ring. Marcus's mother had given it to her with trembling hands. She touches it with her free hand, the metal smooth and warm despite the cold evening air. It's a warning to herself, not to break, not yet. Tension swells. The officers glare. The bystanders shuffle. The air tastes of exhaust fumes and ozone from streetlights. The previous officer removes a glove and reaches for her phone. He begins to record, voice dripping condescension. So much for escorting a civilian, but he cannot see the badge under her coat, not yet. Then, unexpected pivot. A high-ranking deputy enters frame, tall and dignified, stepping from a squad vehicle. He pauses when he sees Simone pinned. His breath catches, he knows her name. In his chest pain blooms, regret that he did not intervene sooner. The crowd draws closer. The officers falter, their confidence unsteady. He says, "Sergeant Harris, release her now." His voice calm but weighted. They freeze. He steps forward fully and the world shifts. The wind feels colder on the witness faces. Streetlights blur into halos. The deputy's eyes rest on Simone's face. He sees the bruise. He sees the ring. He sees the unwavering silence. He recognizes her not as suspect, but as the chief they all answer to. Honor unfurls intention. The officers drop their hold. Their defiance dissolves. Simone lifts her chin but does not speak. The deputy stands between her and the two officers now shame-faced. Without raising his voice he says, "Chief Turner is under my protection. She is not to be touched." Neither man moves. The deputy turns, shoulders squared, silent authority radiating. The crowd exhales as though released. Smartphones drop aimless. A few people gasp softly. The moral tension cracks, the women grain of justice realigning in real time. The humiliation evaporates. For them, for the chief, for the bystanders. Now the payoff builds. Simone reaches down and stands free, her coat settling back into place. She breathes deeply. A small gesture, but monumental. The deputy moves beside her. The cameras capture their outline, authority restored, dignity intact. In her internal monologue she feels Marcus's presence. His voice echoes. Lead with quiet strength, she whispers inside. I have. Silence, once forced upon her, now speaks louder. She does not raise her voice. She does not demand apology. One officer swallows and his voice cracks. Chief Turner, I'm sorry. The words tumble out. Not because forced, but because confronted with integrity they cannot deny. The other remains silent, head lowered. Simone shrinks her shoulders, accepts the apology with dignity. She steps forward, addressing the small crowd in clear, calm tone. Thank you for waiting. I am Chief Turner. She pauses. I believe everyone deserves dignity, even when they are mistaken. A few people nod. Some eyes glisten. Newson, the deputy, still beside her, straightens. The moment becomes a tableau of quiet reconciliation. Uniformed officers standing respectfully. Onlookers stepping back. Justice felt instead of fought. Iconic lines embed themselves in the silence. She believed dignity is not given. It is claimed through grace. True authority whispers while mockery shouts. Silent resilience echoes long after cruelty fades. Simone watches officers help the bystanders. She feels the crowd's tension soften. Someone holds out a water bottle. Another offer of medical aid. She smiles faintly, accepting both gestures. She feels not victory over them, but victory within. The streetlight above flickers to golden glow. Simone turns and walks calmly away, shoulders steady. The deputy walks beside her, not in front. The two officers pack away gloves and phones, shoulders bowed. They fold their expressions into humility. On the sidewalk, a young black woman says softly, "Thank you, Chief." Simone turns and nods gently, holding her gaze. The woman's lips tremble. Simone breathes out. "Stay safe," she says quietly. Overhead night deepens. The streets overspilled with empathy now. Silence reverberates not as absence but presence. A presence of truth, of respect, of honor restored. She moves down the block. The deputy remains beside her. The crowd disperses but the emotional imprint remains. A viral tableau of dignity restored in a single moment. Reflecting now, the narrator contemplates. Respect is not assumed, it is earned and sometimes demanded. Not through anger, but through composure. Unseen battles are waged beneath quiet exteriors, and when misguided force confronts deliberate silence, the force shatters if integrity stands. Invite viewers at the end. Where are you watching from? Share a moment when someone underestimated strength, then found it carved in silence. Comment a salute, a thought, a story. Subscribe for more cinematic tributes to quiet heroes whose honor humbles injustice.